What happens when the person who should believe in you becomes the one who humiliates you? Sometimes betrayal doesn't come from strangers, but from the voice closest to your heart. This story is based on real events. It reveals how dreams can be crushed with a single sentence, and how strength can be born from humiliation. For almost 2 years, I had been unemployed. My life was reduced to small freelance jobs at medical offices, temporary, uncertain, and never enough to breathe in peace. I clung to every task, every consultation I supported, hoping it might turn into something permanent. Yet the fear of instability gnawed at me every night. Instead of support, I faced ridicule. He looked at me across the kitchen table, eyes cold, and said with cruel ease, "You studied all those years just to make pennies? At this pace, you'll age with nothing to show." The words cut deeper than silence. It wasn't just about money, it was about dignity, about my worth being reduced to numbers in his calculation of life. Then, with mocking laughter, he added, "Why don't you just sell lunchboxes on the street? At least you'd be useful for something." I froze. Years of dedication, sleepless nights studying, and sacrifices collapsed into that single humiliating suggestion. My dreams turned into nothing more than food to be sold on a corner. I felt my cheeks burn with shame. My daughter, silent nearby, lowered her eyes, trying to hide the anger and sadness that his words had sparked in her too. In that moment, I realized our story was not just mine. It could echo in the hearts of many. If you want to follow these stories of silent wounds and hidden strength, subscribe and stay with me. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. His words echoed endlessly in my mind, crushing the little hope I had managed to keep alive. I remembered my graduation day, the diploma in my hands, the applause, the certainty that my sacrifice meant something. Where had that certainty gone? My body trembled with a mix of shame and anger. Was I truly worthless in his eyes? Was my path nothing more than wasted years? I thought about giving up, about sinking into the silence he tried to lock me in. But then I looked at my daughter. Her eyes begged me not to surrender. Her presence reminded me of my strength. She whispered softly, "Mom, you're more than his words. Don't let him decide who you are." Tears rolled down my face as I realized the cruelest betrayal wasn't his suggestion. It was trying to erase my worth, my effort, my identity. I began to hide my tears, saving them for the shower or the late night hours when the apartment was silent. But inside, something else started to grow, resistance. Every cruel word became fuel, every humiliation a spark. I decided not to let his disdain define my story. I knew the road would still be long, but I promised myself I wouldn't abandon my dignity, nor allow him to dictate my future. Strength doesn't always come in loud victories. It often begins in silence, when tears dry and resolve takes root. His words about selling lunchboxes weren't just cruel. They were an attempt to chain me to humiliation. But humiliation can be transformed. What was meant to break me became the fire that forced me to rise. To every woman hearing this, you are not measured by the cruel words of others, nor by the failures they throw in your face. You are measured by the courage to stand again, to search for new paths, to remember your worth even when the world denies it. I carry the scars of his mockery, but also the lesson that pain can be a weapon. If they try to bury you in contempt, let resilience be the roots that lift you higher. My story is not one of defeat, but of awakening, and so can yours.